Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Crypto Miners Twitter space. My name is Mary. I hope you can hear me. We are hosting a very interesting project today, Astra Protocol. I hope someone from Astra is here. Let's see, do we have Saqib Wasim with us? Saqib, if you raise your hand or ask to speak. Let's see. Saqib Wasim from Astra Protocol. Are you in here, sir? Anyway, this is going to be a really interesting AMA or presentation of Astra Protocol. I'm looking forward to this, guys. So go on and bring your friends so we can get really many people in here. There we have him, I think. Twitter takes its time to connect people.
Yeah, it definitely does. How are we,
Hi,
guys?
Saqib.
How
Hi.
are you, Mary? Are you good?
I'm good. Yeah, looking forward to speak with you.
Me too. Yeah,
Happy,
really looking forward to it.
happy to have you here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we found a good time finally. I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been crazy. With everything going on at Astra Protocol, all the amazing announcements, plus a
hmm
little bit of travel as well. I'm over at the Web Summit, so yeah, it's been difficult, but glad we've got some time in.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. So welcome, very welcome. And yeah, we are going to talk about Astra Protocol. But please, maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit first, Saqib.
Yeah, yeah, sure thing. Well, I'm Saq Wasim. I am the Chief Innovation Officer and I'm the CTO for Astra Protocol. I've been with the company since day one, I guess. Employee number one. Yeah, I've been working with the founders to develop this amazing technology and really drive this as the most innovative compliance solution at an infrastructure level for all of crypto, which is an amazing opportunity, and I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you. So let's dive in more to Astra, this project. And if you met me in an elevator and wanted to tell me very quickly about this project, what would you say, Saqib?
Well, three words, I guess, kind of. KYC, Web3. We at Astra Protocol have massively been involved in crypto for a long time. We absolutely love it. Much like everybody here in this AMA who's listening in, really big fans of crypto. But with the growth of crypto, we've seen a lot of problems as well. I think everybody here, in some way, at least if not directly, knows somebody who's been hurt by a scam or has been hurt by some kind of issue in crypto. And there are just so many, and it's so common that it's created huge amounts of regulatory pressure in crypto. I mean, look at the news. Everything that you hear is regulation, crypto, new bills coming out of the Senate, new laws in Europe, and pretty much all over the world. What we're doing is we're bringing a KYC layer to crypto that resolves all those regulations. So it makes the regulators happy, it keeps the scammers, and it keeps all the illicit and harmful finance out of crypto, and it increases adoption. And that's what we're really all about at Astra Protocol. So we do KYC, which means that we're able to check a user's identity at a wallet level to make sure they're not involved in harmful types of finance in the world. We do all of this without actually revealing your identity to the crypto platforms, which is really important, right? I mean, anonymity, decentralization is important for this industry to survive and for it to continue. But also ensuring that the safeguards there is very important too. And that's kind of what Astra Protocol is. That's what we do.
It sounds like something that we really need. So where have you been so long?
We've been building. That's the most important.
Yeah,
That's one of the most important things. Is this has been a long time in the making. Look, the founders have been building patents and across various businesses for many years. So we started with some patents, and we've been developing this business for the better part of 4 years. And now we're at this point where there's a massive need in the market. The timing's really good for us. We've been building through the bear. We're pretty much at the bottom of this market now. Now we're ready to launch this thing, get some public interest, and give all the Astra fans who've been following us, everyone on Twitter, all of our Telegram followers, an opportunity to get involved. So we're having a public sale as well, which is amazing. It's time to let all the Astra fans have an opportunity at it.
yeah, I saw that. It's gonna be on 11th of November, right? On
That's right, 11/11. That's the date.
11/11 22. That's kind of a special date, I guess.
It
Yeah,
is, yeah, yeah, it is. It's a very special date. We're looking forward to it. It's not far away now, but all the team have been pretty much on this 24/7, like quite literally working round the clock. So if I can give a shout out to all of the Astra team who have tuned in, I'm sure there's a few people here from the team who are listening.
sure.
We've all been working extremely hard, and we're all proud of each other for doing that. But that's what it takes to come up with such an amazing company, an amazing team. That's the most important thing.
So how big is the team? How many? Because on the webpage there are lots and lots of people listed, but I guess it's even more that's not on there
Yeah, I mean
working behind the
it's
scenes.
always growing. We're not extremely huge, but we're at a pretty good size. We're probably around, or I'd say around the 40 headcount, which is amazing. But we have plans for continued growth as well. I mean, one of the key areas for us is to build big, build fast, and build with good principles. So our technology department is just growing and growing, which is just excellent for us.
Very nice. So now you're very focused on this sale, but before this public sale goes live, you had a private sale and a pre-sale or something?
Yeah, we did. We had a couple of rounds. We sold them out in like a heartbeat. Um, sounds like
Okay.
it sounds like I'm boasting, but quite honestly, I think a lot of traditional financial institutions, a lot of crypto VCs saw this like kind of like you said, where's Astra been? We've needed this
Yeah.
for a while. We have a chance to invest. We have a chance to grow. A technology layer that's really needed and will be beneficial to everybody. So yeah, people jumped at the opportunity.
So how can other projects make use of Astra now that you're launching, or how can I use the token? How can I use the project or the company?
Well, let's start with the product. So the product will be live officially late November. So we're just going through some diligent steps at the moment now to make that available. The token, well, it's happening in phases, right? So we're going to have this public sale so people can get involved. Post the public sale, we will have a listing on centralized exchanges. We'll make some announcements about that closer to the time, but some pretty big ones. So we're excited about that as well. We want to make it as widely available as possible, so that the Astra fan base and the Astra supporters they truly are global. We've got people all over the world who are interested, so accessibility to our token is going to be important. So yeah, just stay posted. Follow us on Telegram and Twitter, of course. Make sure that you are so that you get the announcements and you can see where to get it. But I would say for those people who have already done their research and are already love the idea of Astra Protocol and are interested, just go on our website, astraprotocol.com. Make sure you register for our public sale there. And go on TokenSoft as well to complete your KYC. If you do those two steps and you're really lucky, you might get selected to one of those invitation only rounds as well. So for the real big fans of Astra, the long term holders, there is an opportunity there as well, and you'll come in at something a little bit more attractive, a longer hold term, but you can obviously see the tokenomics and you can see the round structures on our website too.
So in order to buy in, I have to go to this TokenSoft page or an app, maybe it is, perhaps.
Well,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
sorry, Mary, go
and
on.
register and KYC also.
Yep. The easiest thing to do, and everything gets wrapped up in one thing. Open your laptop when you've got 10 minutes spare. go on astraprotocol.com. You'll see a registration page right on the front screen when you load the website. Follow the steps on there, and it will take you directly through to TokenSoft, where you can complete your registration and your KYC.
Okay, and then I wait, and maybe I get an invitation, you said? How do I get an invitation?
So you will receive an email to the public sale when we're ready for the public sale, but there are 2 invitation-only rounds, and we'll be letting people know via email if they were lucky enough to get selected. But it's on a first-come, first-served basis, so the faster you are, the better the chances. But it's looking like it's selling out pretty fast, actually.
So is it already too late now, you mean? Or is this going to start in 8 days, 11th of November?
Yeah, it's going to start in 8 days.
And then I KYC first of all, and I get invitation.
Yep, so KYC now. Do your KYC now, and you'll get an invitation before the sale. And then when the sale's open, you'll get another invitation telling you exactly when to join.
Okay.
But we'll update you with all the necessary information will be sent via email. It'll also be available on our socials, so you'll see it on Twitter, and you'll also see it on Telegram too.
Okay, so there was a minimum and maximum buy in this sale as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, for people who want to take a larger interest in Astra, the people who are really backing and supporting us, yeah, there's a minimum cap on those 2 previous rounds, the invite-only rounds.
But the public sale, I can buy as much or as little I want to.
Well, you can come in, I think, at a minimum of $500, and that's capped out at $2,500. So there's a min and a max on that public sale.
Okay, yeah, I found it here now. Invite only option 1, the price will be $0.15.
Yep.
And there is a cliff of 6 months and 18 months vesting, and the minimum ticket is $5,000 for that one.
Yep.
And invite only option 2, you buy it for a little bit more, $0.2, 5 months cliff, and 12 months vesting schedule. And you have to buy it at least $2,500 worth.
Yep.
And then the public sale option 3, $0.3, 3 months cliff and 3 months vesting, and $500 is the minimum ticket. Okay, that's cool. And this is on the web page, people, if you didn't understand what I said. And there you have the tokenomics as well, and you can see. Because lots of people are asking me about the tokenomics now in my private message. So yeah, go on the web page, and there is a big button called tokenomics, and click on that, and you can see everything.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
hard to miss that.
Easy to find. Yeah.
Super
All
easy.
right. So you have been working very hard now for 4 years, you said, about this. So how did it start? How did you? I mean, were you one of the persons starting this also, or?
I'm not a founder, but I'm one of the early employees. I actually think employee number 1 at Astra, closely followed by some more executives. So we have head of business development, head of compliance, joining me around the same time as well, or shortly after. The idea and the business was formed, like I said, by the founders developing patents. I thought it was an interesting opportunity, and we started building from there. We saw a big gap in the market, saw an opportunity to bring more trust, more safety into the blockchain ecosystem. The founders have got patents across lots of different areas of technology, gaming, and really innovative things that they've been developing or accruing over a number of years. Crypto is one of those things that we've been involved in for a long time, so it seemed like it was definitely worth doing. And lo and behold, as the market has evolved over the past few years, we've seen more of a need on regulation. We've seen more of a requirement, public interest in, well, how do we remove scammers from this industry? How do we bring in more safeguards? We have traditional banks saying, how do we invest in crypto with all the risk? You know, the whole counterparty risk issue of anonymized wallets creates a huge pinch point in traditional capital coming into the market, which we think is absolutely necessary for crypto to grow. If we look at it in a comparative size versus traditional finance, it still has a long way to go. So there are lots of things that need to be unlocked, and we really believe that Astra Protocol is one of those key things. Once you start bringing in KYC element, once we have more trust around the user base, around the economy of or ecosystem of crypto, we can drive a lot more. We can drive more public trust, so more adoption, and we can drive in more capital as well.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question I see from Abi has a few questions here in the chat. Astra Protocol protect us from the money laundering probably through anti-money laundering AML. I wonder how does the AML thing works? Can you please tell me more about the AML and how does it work? How do you prevent terrorism and fraud screening?
Okay. Well, look, there are two elements to what we do. There is Web 2 and Web 3. So there is massive disparity. So there's a big gap between your online persona in crypto and your real world identity. I think that's fair to say. Some people have the two together, but I would say largely speaking, there's a big gap between the two. So Astra Protocol is able to validate the identities of individuals on a wallet address or any particular wallet address that you want to use. So we can understand the individual. So we can appoint things like screening, sanction, terrorist lists, criminal wanted lists around the world against the identity and not on the wallet address. So we can validate that the individual is not involved in the shady side of the real world. We can also look at the Web3 address, so your blockchain, your crypto address, your wallet address, and we can screen that. There's lots of, on-chain analytical profiling that's done around that. So now we have characterized a wallet. We can look at Web3 behavior. We can look at Web2 behavior of the individual. We compare the two without revealing who you are. Now, in the AML world, we can continuously monitor that information, that individual, in case a threat occurs. We do all of this without actually revealing your blockchain identity or revealing your personal identity to any application or anyone outside of that either. So we're actually building more trust. Now we cover 155 countries, so pretty much the entire world or a lot of it. We cover over 300 plus screening, sanction, watch lists around the world that are updated all the time, constantly updated, so that we always have our finger on the pulse, and that effectively is how we minimize the opportunity for harmful actors in crypto.
So let me stop you. When you say 155 countries, that's like worldwide, as you said. So what does it really mean? You control, you know everything about the regulations in those countries, or what does it really mean? I'm sorry, maybe I'm a bit.
Well, there are lots of right now in the regulatory world. There's lots of different standards. There's no real uniform practice to KYC. So all of these countries have their own laws. They have their own provisions and policies on how anti-money laundering or how identity information should be gathered, and we have to appoint that to where people are coming from. I couldn't apply. I'm in Portugal right now, so I couldn't appoint Portuguese policy to someone who's in Germany or to somebody who's in the United States. It wouldn't make sense. So we take a tailored approach to that, which means we've taken all the rule sets for these different countries. We've built a technology matrix that when a user connects and says, okay, this is my nationality, this is where I live, it takes that combination and then assigns that user to that jurisdiction. So we can run that user through that particular jurisdiction. So that's what we mean when we say 155 countries. And obviously, for those 155 countries, there are respective watch lists, screening lists, credit scraping information around that individual to ensure that they're not involved in harmful or illicit activity.
Yeah, and it seems to me that this crypto space is a little bit divided in do we like regulations or do we not like regulations? And your company obviously wants to move towards more regulation. Is that correct, right?
Well, yes, we believe in regulation as long as it doesn't impinge or restrict crypto. We don't believe that, and we're not fools. We don't think that everybody in crypto will be KYC'd and that everybody has to be KYC'd. However, we think the future of crypto will be an emergence of lots of different types of activity. There will be the large blockchain applications that, of course, will attract the attention of regulators, and they will, by proxy, require more regulation on their services, and most of them will adopt that and say, okay, that's fair, we'll do it, we'll protect our large ecosystems and our large user base with regulatory guidance. So we think there'll be lots of ecosystems that'll be 100% KYC'd and still will be anonymous. We'll have decentralized exchanges that will actually adopt a more of a flexible approach to this as well, which is some people can KYC and some people don't have to KYC. And the user can make their decisions as to whether they want to trade with pools that require KYC vetting and some that don't. So we'll have more of a flexible approach to it. And then we see a third bucket, which will be the anons, people who don't want to KYC, want to operate under their own law, their own practices, and they're free to do that. But it means that they probably won't have access to some of the larger applications as well, probably want to use more anon services for that. And what we will probably see as a proxy of regulation and things like Astra Protocol coming into the market is a movement of illicit or harmful finance and bad actors away from these large ecosystems where the public can play, generally speaking, and are happy, and large financial institutions can become involved, and we build healthier capital systems, over to the more anon world, and that will begin to become smaller and smaller and smaller until it can be more or less pushed into its own area that can be controlled, monitored, and decreases the risk for the public, which I think is very important. But we want to create an ecosystem of freedom, which is right in that middle bucket that I identified. But we want to do it in a way that doesn't pose a threat to individuals.
So, but your company will then sit on lots of information about people, since you KYC them. Well, how secure could that be for if I KYC with you and I want to stay anonymous? How sure can I be that you don't give that to my government or some other government or whoever wants that, or maybe buy it from you to know more about people in crypto?
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to think about, individual company policy, how to access information. So Apple, as a good example, won't reveal your identity. It won't break your phone for anybody. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. So there's a trust component. And we verify our trust by all PII gets hashed and logged. So any personally identifiable information that you submit to us will be logged and it'll be hashed on an immutable ledger that the user can review. So you can see and be alerted for any information that's accessed, reviewed, changed, or anything. The other point that we're building is more zero knowledge infrastructure into our applications. So you'll be able to use zero knowledge identity applications, grant permission to your identity documents, have us validate it for you, and then through that service, revoke the permission, and you've got a validated service there. Now, we may ask in the future, or regulation may ask in the future that, well, we need to still, understand whether the user still has access to that wallet, but there are lots of techniques to do that. You can use biometric to understand whether a user is still there. You can use liveness checks to make sure that the person is still in control of that wallet too.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. I want to say something to everyone in here. We have rewards today, and all participants, in order to win the reward, you need to go to Astra website and register there for the Astra token sale, which is coming on 11th November on Tokensoft, and make sure to complete the KYC process as well. So you know that. And I want to bring up some people on the stage and ask questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Well.
Let's see here. We have. I'm adding the midnight. Hello. You have to unmute yourself to speak. Maybe he can't hear us now. Let's see if we have someone else. Let's have Professor. I unmuted you. as well. And also have a question from Twitter space here, if you can't speak, any of you.
Guys?
Hello, yeah. Now we can hear you.
How you doing?
Hi.
Right. Interesting concept you have here, Sack. Interesting concept. My
Hey,
question with this is, by the way, nice to virtually meet you. My only question with this, what you're trying to develop is how you gonna identify a scammer from, an ordinary person if you're not gonna gather any details.
okay, well, as a scammer, are you going to reveal your identity and work in an ecosystem that requires KYC validation?
Yeah, but what if they go through a Tumblr?
Hey, look, well, if you go to a Tumblr and you transact on a Tumblr, everybody can see that. I mean, look at Tornado Cash, right? So you can mark wallets. That's the whole point of Web3 analytics, is to identify high risk worthy transactions. And that's nothing new. I mean, that's the whole point of crypto on blockchain, right? To make transactional analysis so open and so clear that you can identify where harmful parties live. The something to think about really is it's the lurkers that actually pose the most threat. It's the nascent user who appears harmless in this industry, who we're trading with, who we know nothing about, who might be involved in illicit finance. There's a huge ethical component to crypto and DeFi that we've really got to think about, which is if somebody, we don't know much about the individuals who are operating behind anonymization, and that's not to say that we should know everybody, but if they're involved in harmful acts, if they're involved in illicit finance, we have a right to know and understand that as well, and omit the opportunity for them to do that, or by proxy, individuals can become entangled in financial transactions that are illicit.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions about this, by the way. I'll probably take hours and hours of your time, but to try and catch these people is going to be very difficult in essence, because there is ways. They've not caught people that do a lot of money laundering, right? So how are you going to catch people in a decentralized environment? The key question is, how do you, as a platform, how are you going to work with government entities? Have you got these contracts in place for you to work with them hand in hand, or are you trying to build your own database from scratch?
Well, we've taken all of the guidance that exists around the world already, but we actively work with regulators as well. Now, we help advise, we help
FCA?
inform,
Do you work with
and
FCA?
educate. FCA, which FCA? There are many FCAs.
The
You're talking about the UK?
the UK FCA, yes.
Yeah, we've had some exposure to the UK FCA. I think Lord Cunliffe is probably heading things up. That's mostly, if you look at the UK, it's kind of divided between FCA and Bank of England, and they sometimes have conflicting views. But that's not uncommon in the crypto space, right? I mean,
But I work in banking, by the way. I do a lot of consultancy for banking and blockchain, etc. So essentially, like the FCA and the Bank of England actually go hand in hand, because they split the regulators back in 2014 for the FCA to be kind of on its own entity to manage some of the policies. The Bank of England mostly looks at the trading aspect of it.
Yeah, and is an issuer of licenses as
Yeah.
well. So, I mean, the point here is that when policy is driven and you have divide between these two, who do you speak to? Well, we try to speak to everybody. We work with, multinational advisory bodies that provide regulatory frameworks out to countries as well, like international securities commissions that provide sweeping, policy reform. Let's take Europe as an example. There's a regulatory body that we work with that covers 130 countries and all the security commissions that fall within them. And it's all about outreach, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? Because if you've got policymakers and you've got governments and regulatory bodies that are informing the laws and the rule sets, we want to make sure that they actually understand the industry very well, and that the law sets that are coming out are compatible and aren't restrictive of this industry, and by proxy of stringent laws aren't crippling a very innovative industry that has the chance to really create thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs around the world and start propping up economies.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Look, I don't want to take a lot of airtime, but I would love to talk to you after this, and see what you guys are doing. I'm quite interested in what you're trying to do, so it'd be quite
100%. Well,
interesting.
are you following us on Telegram?
I am following you on Telegram. Yes, I am.
Amazing. Well, you can always drop us a message in the group there, or reach out to myself or any of the execs. We're easily accessible if you want to find any information on about Astra Protocol. So, but thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. It's very interesting.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you, Midnight.
No problem.
I have Professor up for the question.
Hi.
Hi, Professor.
I got a question about real yield. It's a quite popular topic currently because everyone like to have sustainable yields. So, do you offer any kind of staking or any kind of lending borrowing program where we can earn sustainable yields without minimum risk?
We've not officially posted anything about staking for our application, but it's something that the company is actively looking at. I think with staking as well, you want to do it really carefully. We don't want to be left in a situation that other companies have been left with as well. So it's on our to-do list. It's something that we're actively looking at the moment.
Thank you, Professor. I have RH up here on stage as well. Welcome, RH.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What is your question?
I'm not sure if I totally understand what you're trying to achieve here because I think with to do with finding out which wallets are genuine or not, load or doing fraud, doing crypto is a bit of a grey area. And I'm trying to figure out what your ecosystem is trying to do or how you generate money, because how would you sanction these wallets or who would you give the information to? I'm still trying to figure out what your project is trying to achieve here, because it is a bit of a grey area, because we are still in the process of going through regulation. So not even governments have got an idea of how they're going to regulate it, because I'm not sure because crypto is a decentralized ecosystem, and it's how do you define which is good and which is bad, centralized or decentralized? I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to achieve here.
Well, I think there is well understood risk profiling for individuals who've been involved in illicit finance or harmful activity. This is not like a credit system that's saying, oh, you're good and you're bad, or you're healthy and you're unhealthy. This is a system that's looking at terrorist watch lists, known sanctioned individuals around the world, and people who have illicit criminal activity when it comes to financial aspects. So, look,
Yeah, that's only a small percentage of the crypto market, and I'm just trying to see how you will maintain what you're trying to do, because people have to KYC. Are you holding their information, and who are you giving their people's information for you to determine if they are terrorists or if they're doing anything improper?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to understand what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, I kind of explained that a few minutes ago, which is the user provides that information to us, or they do it through a zero knowledge application, and we use sanction lists, screening lists, watch lists around the world to identify that. And I also mentioned as well that we don't reveal your identity outwards. We don't reveal your information on chain, and it's not shared with the DeFi protocol. What is seen is a marker on chain that identifies that you've been through this service and therefore can be trusted. This wallet doesn't belong to somebody who's involved in illicit or harmful finance. And if we think about the broader political context of proving that, it's very powerful, because the anti-crypto view is that it's not a small percentage, but actually there is an unknown when it comes to illicit finance in this industry, or money laundering, or being used by cartels. And why, volumetrically speaking, that may be small people, we don't understand the representative market value of that, which creates a huge threat. Now, if we look at recent geopolitical tension, and we look at wars that are happening in Ukraine, if we look at intelligence reports which suggests that cryptocurrency, digital assets, are being used as proxy for arms trade to fund wars, that creates a fear environment, which means that the industry is stifled from growth. So we don't want this industry to be stifled with growth. We think it's innovative and we think it's incredible. So we bring in safeguards that, whilst it maintains anonymity, it still identifies and is able to review at an anonymized level, and I'll stress that there are sections of this industry that are protected, are healthy, and the ethical component is very clear.
Okay. Still don't get it though. But anyway,
Well, if
I wish you
I
all
put
the
it more
best.
simply, it's just, thank you, but it's just a KYC check that doesn't show anybody outside of that you are doesn't show your ID. Basically, it's a KYC check that shows on chain on your crypto wallet that says this guy is not involved in criminal activity.
Okay, but don't you think the centralized exchanges do that anyway when they do KYC checks, or any other project that do KYCs? Don't you think they do that anyway? Their basic KYCs. What makes you different from them?
Yeah, well, think about the decentralized space. Let's look at centralized versus decentralized, and how representative are centralized exchanges versus this very broad landscape and ecosystem. It's minute. Look at the majority, volumetrically speaking, this industry is not comprised of centralized exchanges. It's decentralized applications and ecosystems.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Are you happy?
Yes, I was.
Good question.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. It is a good question, because what makes you better than others already out there? And you have like many countries, you said, and maybe they don't. But I have a question here that maybe touched on this a little bit. It says, you said that our mission is to equip all DeFi with a decentralized compliance layer, including KYC and AML capabilities. How long does it take to confirm KYC? Is there a special team to handle this? How will Astra Protocol's KYC and AML help in creating a compliance layer in DeFi?
A couple of ways. We offer a range of different checks and services out to our customers. Sorry, RH, can you just go on mute for a second, please? Thanks. So yeah, we actually have a number of different types of checks, but if we look at the broadest checks that we do for modernized countries around the world that have access to digital identity screening services, we're able to validate someone in less than a minute. For the United States, I think we've got that in about 10 seconds to actually validate you, so it's very fast and very accurate as well. In terms of competitor analysis, Mary, is that what you're asking here? Or are you talking about any special services that we appoint? Because one thing that we do have is an audit layer that we've created called the DLN, the Decentralized Legal Network. That's pretty interesting. I mean, nobody else is doing that, and we're really proud of the DLN as well. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, tell us about that, Zach.
Sure. Well, it's basically an Oracle service. It's an Oracle service for audit and compliance. So if you're let's say you're a DEX and you're probably hot under regulatory scrutiny, it's okay having a KYC check, having on-chain provable data, but at some point that information needs to be audited. So we've created the DLN. It contains some of the most major legal and compliance firms around the world. We made an announcement about one member pretty recently, KPMG. They're in this. We have others as well, by the way. They'll be announced closer to our launch, but some really big names in the legal and compliance world. So when a user, or if a company opts in for DLN services, when a user goes through their KYC check, we assign that KYC check, we remove any notion of blockchain, just identity, to panelists from KPMG, DLA Piper, Deloitte, other major agencies around the world, for example. They can review that information and they can attest it and say, yep, we've done an audit on the KYC practices that took place. It appeared to be good from our view. We do this in a consensus mechanism, so you get people from different organizations working independently, and then we can give a risk-based score on that. So now we have KYC, anonymized, but audited, so very powerful, and on-chain data about that too.
Very nice. I had some question here from Twitter. I'm not really sure this is. Oh, I'm just going to read it and see if we can answer it.
Sure.
Growth strategies like airdrop and influencer marketing are going to be the new era of promotion. As per the tokenomics, 0.5% is kept for airdrop bounty program. So is Astra Protocol rewarding loyal investors as of now? Any ongoing airdrops we can participate in?
Yep, all of the above. We like to reward people, of course. We want people to be rewarded for lots of different things like bug bounty programs and otherwise as well. But we do have an airdrop ongoing at the moment on CoinMarketCap. So if you are interested in that, you can go ahead and join.
There you go, Sarika. Go ahead and join that. And also, if you are asking a question here and are looking for this reward, you have to KYC on their webpage. Or no, TokenSoft is it called, right?
Yeah, you have to sign up on our site for the sale and then get your KYC done at TokenSoft.
Very good. All right, should we have some more questions from the audience maybe? There is a few up here. Let's see. How's your time, Sakib? Do you have time left for us, or do you have somewhere to be?
I got another 15 minutes, and then I got to head over to the Web Summit. So we can
Okay.
take some more questions, or if anyone wants has any general questions about Astra and wants to jump on, we can have a discussion.
Sure. We have Midnight was very keen on more questions. Maybe he has another one after this one. I did unmute someone. No, he left.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello. I want to ask about market situation. What your personal thing for the current market condition, and what is your strategy to make people believe that investment in Astra Protocol is a good long-term strategy? Thank you.
Well, I think there are, personal opinion, not representative of the company, so I can't speak for the company when I say this, but I think we're pretty much at the bottom of the market now. I mean, we've seen a lot of support, both Bitcoin and Ethereum, arguably the leaders in a lot of trends in crypto when it comes to the market. So we seem pretty stable. And if we look more broadly speaking, some of the best projects out there have been built in the bear market. So it's better to build with a realistic support base, realistic investors, than an overinflated market. And then you can grow the project up with that. However, my caveat to all of this is, well, what makes a good project? What makes a good investment? And from a personal view, a good investment comes from doing a lot of research. You should look at things like the team, the advisory board, track record, communication, their growth, their ability to communicate with people on Telegram. What are they doing marketing wise? What traction do they have? Have you looked at recent announcements that they've made? In terms of Astra, I'd say that we tick all those boxes. Undoubtedly, I am biased when I say this, but you should certainly read all of those things. And if you're still convinced after all of that, well, now's a good time to sign up to our public sale.
Thank you, Arumi. And yes, I have lots of questions still too, but we haven't touched much of. I read somewhere that you have I'm going to say this correct. I hope AI software.
Yeah, we do. We do have some AI built in.
And do you want to tell us a little bit more about how that works within your project?
It's nothing really special, to be honest with you. It's just being able to understand whether a document is accurate or has been used in fraud,
Okay.
and also whether the face on the ID is the person who does a liveness check and smiles at the camera. So it's nothing too sophisticated in terms of
Okay.
it's not going to change the world. But if you look at all of our technology as a whole, if you look at the innovation across our platform and not just singular proponents or components, we built something very, very interesting, something very cool and cutting edge, actually. Our ability to store data and manage data and information and create separation between personally identifiable information and blockchain information is insane. The decentralized legal network component is just out of this world. Oracle service that brings in professional services and does it in a way that is understood by both consulting, compliance, audit, and legal firms is amazing. That's what's been a blocker to them joining this industry. And accessibility as well. I mean, you can plug all this technology in through an API and a smart contract integration. So that's pretty cool as well.
Okay. So who are you targeting mostly as your customers, if that's correct expression? I mean, who do you think will use this the most or start with to use this? Is that like government?
Everyone touches the kind of financial area of crypto. So big applications who have KYC right now, but want to do this in a way that's more befitting for Web3. We have a lot of those, but also new applications as well. So if you have a smart idea and you're building something, but you want to do it in the right way, you want to build it with the safeguards in as well, you can use it. I mean, our vision for the technology here is that to plug our service in, it's relatively open source. So you can take our API kit, plug it into your application and run with it. And of course, at the point that you want to pay for the service, you can buy Astra tokens on the secondary market, lock them in a stake, and gain access to the service. So we're making it very low entry barrier to use our technology. We're not like SaaS where you have to call us up and arrange a meeting and spend 3 months working things out with us to install it. We're going to make it as repeatable as possible with a focus on the developer community. Make it as easy as possible for developers to pick up our capability, plug it into their application, and they can do all of this without making a single phone call to Astra, or maybe just speak to us on Discord if you have any developer steps, which we'll be using as a main channel for integration advice.
Okay, so if I want to build an app and I need to collect personal information from people within this app, I can use the Astra Protocol, and it's
kind of, Mary. I want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I do.
You did
Please.
touch on something there. You said if the app wants to collect personal information, that's not what we do. So if that app requires KYC compliant individuals, use Astra. You don't need to know that person's name and address and have a copy of their driver's license. You have on-chain evidence that that address, the user behind it, was validated, and that validation was audited by major compliance firms as well. So that's the difference.
And how much does it cost for me to use that as a developer?
For a simple check, we do this at a transactional level, Mary. So a simple check for us, simple screening, the most basic one that we offer is less than $1 a check. We're really competitively priced.
Okay. Yeah, well.
Scales up depending on your needs as well.
I think it sounds interesting, but I also think that some have touched on here that it's a little bit controversial in this DeFi, maybe because they don't really understand how you do this. If you are still because you say that you are still DeFi or protecting the DeFi, and yeah, maybe you do. I'm not 100% sure I understand everything either yet, but I think it's very interesting, and I'm going to look into this more for sure. And I want to know your long-term vision for this. Where do you see Astra in like 5 years from now?
I think Astra will be the de facto compliance utility for crypto. I think that the majority of the market in those different buckets that we discussed earlier will use Astra Protocol for one simple reason, that we're validating KYC at an address or wallet address specific level for a good reason, which means that we've now changed the user experience for everybody in DeFi. Now, today, if KYC exists, you have to put it in separately for each application that you join. With Astra Protocol, you can use that wallet across all of these different applications without having to re-input your KYC.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand it better now, Sax. Thank you for that, Lars. I mean, you are like, it's like I'm from Sweden, and in Sweden we have like web ID or something that you use your numbers and then you can identify yourself, and everyone knows that you is you, you know? And this is kind of the same, but you are in the middle, so you don't reveal anything, but you have that certain kind of trust. So everyone must trust you. I must trust you who do the KYC with you, and the company who needs the KYC done needs to trust that you did a proper job, right?
And that is verified by the Decentralized Legal Network, where you have on-chain proof of audit around that information. So we're not the centralized party holding this, but rather the person who's aggregating it and allowing people to validate it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you get pretty powerful then also as to sit on all this. I think it's very interesting. And I just wanted to remind everyone that in order to win the rewards, you need to go to Astra website and register there for the Astra token sale, which is coming on 11th November on Token Soft. And make sure to complete the KYC process as well. And then you can try this. Try them out, you know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I know you have to go soon, Zach. It was a pleasure talking to you, and yeah, I think it's a really interesting, because I know many people doesn't want to have regulations in crypto, but I think to go towards mass adoption, maybe we do have to have something like this. So yeah, I'm positive. We'll see what's happening, and I wish you the best of luck with this company. And where are you based?
I'm actually based out of Dubai, along with a number of my colleagues. But we're decentralized as a company. We have people all over the world. So we have a developer base in the Netherlands. We have people in the UK. We have people in Asia. We have people in the States. We have people all over the world. It's amazing.
Cool. But you are a company. Where are you registered? Or is that also in many places?
No, we're in Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, cool. Neutral Switzerland. Very good. And yeah, please, I'll leave the floor for you, Zach, to have some closing statements about this project. And also we are going to remind everyone about the sale that's going on now. So you can maybe mention that again as well.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. I just thank everybody for coming in and listening today. So I really appreciate the support and the questions as well. Some of the questions have challenged us today, which I think is really good. Always challenge if you don't understand. I think that's amazing that we've had such amazing questions of people today. So, it's always amazing to see so many people expressing interest in Astra. And yes, as we said, public sale will be live the 11th through 11th, so November the 11th this year. So if you are interested and you've done your research, head over to our website, register there, and complete your KYC on TokenSoft. One thing that I will say, guys, it's not a case of Does DeFi need regulation? Regulation is already here. Now, it's up to us to decide how we want to do this. Do we want to have centralized compliance, or do we want to have centralized compliance? Those are the two questions that we have to answer. And Astra is leading the charge on decentralized compliance that protects anonymity. And that's the key thing. So, guys, if you're all for it, check us out. Make sure you're following us on our socials. And again, thank you very much for checking in. Mary, thank you so much for having me on the AMA today.
Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure. And as I said, I wish you the best of luck. And please, guys, go ahead to follow their socials and also try the KYC process and have a go at the sale on the 11th of November. It's only 8 days, so yeah, you still have time to do more research if you need. All right, you can do more research so you understand everything. And yeah, that was it for us, I think, Zach. So have a good afternoon or
Thank you.
evening even down there in Dubai.
Oh, I'm in Portugal at the moment, but yeah. So thanks very much, guys.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Happy lunch then.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I hope you come back later, Zach, to tell us more about this, maybe after the sale and a little bit more. So yeah. All right, guys. Have a good wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow. We have another AMA here on Twitter Space. I think it's the same time as today. So come back then, and yeah, have a good one, guys. Bye for now.